Good morning and welcome to the final of 3 Connect 2050 stakeholder webinars. Thank you for joining us. This is the third of 3 webinars for the WisDOT Long Range Transportation Plan update. Please note that this webinar is being recorded. The format of this webinar will be a 15-minute presentation followed by a question and answer session. At any point, if you'd like to ask a question, please enter it into the YouTube chat box or submit it by email to connect2050@dot.wi.gov. My name is Alex Gramelvat. I'm an urban and regional planner for WisDOT and the project manager for Connect 2050. I'm going to go around and introduce the other panelists that we have. We have Sean DeStramp.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sean DeStramp. I am WisDOT's Freight Program Officer.
Thanks, Sean. Jen.
Good morning. My name is Jennifer Murray. I am WisDOT's Statewide Planning Chief.
Thanks, Jen. And Chuck.
Good morning. I'm Chuck Wade. I'm the Director of the Bureau of Planning and Economic Development.
Thank you, Chuck. And thank you all for being here. We will now begin the webinar presentation. We encourage you to submit questions or comments at any time during or after the presentation through the YouTube chat box or by email.
Hello, and thank you for watching. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation, or WisDOT, is updating its statewide long-range transportation plan called Connect 2050. This presentation will give you an overview of what the plan is and the timeline for updating the plan. It will also go over the plan's vision and goals and provide information about our state's transportation system and emerging trends. In addition, we will discuss how WisDOT plans for the future of transportation in Wisconsin. At the end of the presentation, we will explain how you can provide input and participate in the planning process. Let's talk about agenda item number 1. What is Connect 2050? We plan for our transportation system because transportation affects the quality of our daily lives. It provides access to jobs, education, and healthcare, and supports the people, place, and prosperity of Wisconsin. Connect 2050 is a policy-based plan that will guide WisDOT's decision-making about changes and investments to our transportation system over the next 30 years. Policies in Connect 2050 are the very first step in the transportation planning project delivery process. The policies in the plan identify what WisDOT would like to accomplish. Other WisDOT efforts will identify how and when they will be accomplished through specific projects or improvements to our transportation system. Connect 2050 is a statewide plan, meaning it will guide decision-making for the entire state of Wisconsin, from our dense urban centers to our sparsely populated rural areas. The plan also is long range, meaning it looks ahead to the future, in this case 30 years. 2050 may seem like a long way off, but in the world of transportation, it is not. An average DOT project can take anywhere from 3 to 15 years from the time it is identified to when the project is funded and implemented. Looking out 30 years gives WisDOT the ability to comprehensively manage the entire transportation system over the long term, rather than taking a piecemeal approach. Furthermore, the plan is multimodal, meaning it will consider the needs of the whole transportation system, including roads, ports, rails, transit, airports, and bike and pedestrian modes. Connect 2050 is our answer to these questions. What do you want our transportation system to look like in 2050? What should we do between now and then to get there? Our journey is just beginning. WisDOT will be developing the Connect 2050 plan in 4 phases through 2021. Throughout development, we will continue to offer webinars and virtual meetings, and we will accept comments and survey submissions through the release of the final plan. If possible, we will hold in-person meetings in 2021. During the pre-draft phase, which is the current planning phase, WisDOT will assess the state of the transportation system and obtain public feedback on future transportation priorities and trends. In the draft plan phase, WisDOT will update the plan vision, goals and policies, and prepare the draft plan. During this time, WisDOT will conduct more outreach and offer a 30-day public comment period. We will also coordinate with tribes, metropolitan planning organizations, and regional planning commissions, and consider recommended policies from WisDOT system, modal, corridor, and/or project plans. WisDOT will review and consider all input and update the plan with your feedback in mind. During the final plan phase, WisDOT will release the final Connect 2050 plan that will be used by WisDOT and other agencies to help guide the coordinated development of our transportation system at the state, regional, and local levels. Now let's talk about agenda item number 2. What is the vision of Connect 2050, and what goals are being considered in its creation? The vision and goals are the backbone of Connect 2050. The vision is the overarching statement that identifies what we would like the transportation system to be and do for us. The vision statement means that WisDOT wants an integrated transportation system that works and provides mobility and options for all of us, facilitates economic productivity, improves quality of life, all while minimizing impacts to the natural environment. Connect 2050 has 5 main goals, which will identify the themes that the policies in the plan fall under: economic vitality, safety and security, quality of life and natural environment, system integration and connectivity, and system management. Economic vitality means to maintain and improve the state's transportation system so it is responsive to global and regional economic needs and changing conditions. Promoting an economically healthy transportation network means making investment to all modes. Some examples of how WisDOT supports economic vitality include implementing freeway reconstruction and highway improvement projects, managing the Harbor Assistance Program to improve our state's shipping, port, and waterway resources, and hosting the Freight Advisory Committee, assisting with airport improvement projects, and investing in passenger rail, intercity bus, and transit services. Safety and security means to create a system that is safe for all users and agile in preventing, preparing for, and coordinating responses to any incident, whether natural or the result of human activity. Creating and managing a transportation system that is safe for all users is possibly the single most important undertaking of a state Department of Transportation, so WisDOT works continually to improve your safety. This may mean reducing collisions through road design, like adding rumble strips to alert drivers who have departed their lane, or placing a roundabout at a key juncture to improve congestion and reduce severe injury crashes. It also means investing in Wisconsin's Highway Safety Improvement Program. Between 2015 and 2019, this program funded over $150 million in safety improvements throughout the state. It also means investing in rail crossing safety improvements. Quality of life and natural environment focuses on how to implement and manage a transportation system that balances transportation needs with the natural environment and resource conservation. WisDOT works with private and public partners, including the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, to protect resources. WisDOT has restored 5,800 acres of wetlands across the state over the past 3 decades, and WisDOT seeds 75 acres of land each year with native flora to benefit our state's most at-risk species. WisDOT also coordinates with other agencies and partners to develop a national network of alternative fuel and charging infrastructure corridors. All of Wisconsin's interstates and US 53 and US 51 are part of this network. System integration and connectivity means to bring modes of transportation together to provide a properly integrated system. WisDOT supports all modes of transportation across the state, including freight and passenger rail and transit systems. To ensure a well-integrated system, WisDOT also looks to improve efficiencies and connect different modes to increase economic vitality and make travel easier and more accessible for our residents. For example, Wisconsin's State Urban Mass Transit Operating Assistance Program provides operating cost assistance to support bus, shared ride, taxicab, and rail services in the state. Federal transit programs further support rural and urban transit systems and specialized transit services throughout our state. In addition, WisDOT, in coordination with Amtrak, created a new throughway bus service that provides 2 daily round-trip buses between Green Bay and Milwaukee with stops in Appleton, Oshkosh, and Fond du Lac, and connects with the Hiawatha passenger rail service in Milwaukee. Throughway buses, like train services, provide modern amenities such as Wi-Fi, reclining seats, and location tracking. System management means to utilize cost-effective preservation and maintenance techniques to maximize transportation investments. WisDOT promotes a well-maintained transportation network by targeting investments and maximizing available funding. For roadways and bridges, WisDOT uses an asset management approach to schedule and fund transportation projects to ensure the right project is constructed at the right place and at the right time. And through our MAPS Performance Improvement Program, we report our progress quarterly and summarize scorecards and improvement reports for each performance measure right on our website. These cost-effective measures promote a resilient system while also increasing safety and efficiency. Our communities and how we move around them are changing all the time. Understanding the key issues or trends that affect transportation is an essential component of the Connect 2050 plan that prepares us for what lies ahead. These 6 trend areas, population, travel patterns, safety, economic activity, energy and the environment, and automated and connected vehicles directly relate to the plan goals and will influence how WisDOT makes decisions about managing our statewide transportation system well into the future. More details about these trend areas can be found on the Connect 2050 website under the virtual open house. Next, we will explore the transportation system in Wisconsin, what it entails, and how WisDOT supports a statewide multimodal network. The transportation system is complex and includes many different modes and facilities, more than just roads. WisDOT plans, builds, maintains, or financially supports airports, ports, harbors, and a ferry, highway and bridges, bicycles and pedestrians, specialized transit, passenger rail, freight rail, transit, intercity passenger bus, and local roads, all of which make up Wisconsin's statewide network. Connect 2050 is the only plan that WisDOT produces that considers all modes for the entire state. Other plans, such as the State Rail Plan, State Airport System Plan, and many others, focus on a single mode and identify needs related to that specific mode. Connect 2050 is the glue that ensures all these other plans and documents work together to provide a system that meets our needs. Here are some interesting facts about our transportation system. WisDOT's transportation system has about 115,000 miles of state and local roads and almost 14,000 bridges. Commercial ports on Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, and the Mississippi River process over 27 million tons of goods annually, valued at over $3 billion. Freight is a major economic driver in the state, as 8 economic sectors reliant on the movement of freight make up 41% of the state gross domestic product. And in 2017, over 190 million tons of cargo was moved by freight rail alone, valued at $150 billion. The state highway system accounts for 10% of our roadway network, but carries almost 60% of all vehicle miles traveled in the state each year. But highways aren't the only way we cover ground. Amtrak's Hiawatha line between Milwaukee and Chicago transported over 875,000 people in 2019. This is the busiest passenger rail service in the Midwest and has continued to set new annual ridership records. By 2030, Wisconsin's 123 airports are projected to serve 15 million passengers and local businesses annually. For shorter local trips on the ground, the state's 81 transit systems completed 59 million trips in 2018. State travelers can also forge their own paths and choose their own pace. Almost 10% of passenger trips in 2017 were completed by walking or biking. So what's WisDOT's role in all of this? WisDOT supports all transportation modes that make up our transportation network in one or more of the following ways: planning, constructing, operating, maintaining, and funding. This leads us to where WisDOT is today, the planning process for the statewide multimodal transportation network. Connect 2050 is a policy-based plan that identifies what WisDOT would like to accomplish over the next 30 years. Other WisDOT efforts will identify how and when they will be accomplished through specific projects or improvements to our transportation system. Our long-range statewide transportation plan, Connect 2050, is being developed as we speak and will merge professional transportation knowledge with the insights of business leaders and everyday citizens. Connect 2050 will provide overall guidance to the mode-specific plans such as the State Rail Plan, the State Freight Plan, the State Bicycle Plan, and the State Airport Plan. WisDOT region plans address transportation by WisDOT's 5 regions and includes close coordination with our state's metropolitan planning organizations. Our operational plans direct how WisDOT will conduct certain activities, such as the Transportation Asset Management Plan. So why do we need your input in getting this plan off the ground? Participation from the public is important because all of us have different perspectives on transportation and what the future might be like. As a Wisconsin resident, participating in Connect 2050 is a chance to share those opinions to help guide the coordinated development of our transportation system at the state, regional, and local levels. We encourage you to visit our website, attend our virtual open house, and take our survey. You can also share a comment and subscribe for future email notifications. For individuals who are not able to use the online resources, we also have paper comment and survey forms that can be mailed to WisDOT. Thank you for watching and being a part of the Connect 2050 planning process.
Wonderful. So with that, we will begin our question and answer session. It's just a reminder that to submit a question via YouTube, you have to log in to your Google account or YouTube. If you don't want to do that or don't have one, you're welcome to send us comments via email, again, to connect2050@dot.wi.gov. So with that, we're going to begin the question and answer portion. Sean will be reading questions that we've received through YouTube or email, and there may be a delay between the question and the answer due to the virtual nature of this meeting. So, Sean?
Thanks, Alex. And we are monitoring the inbox. There are questions coming in, which is great. I think I'll start with ones that we've received on YouTube. How do we see the entirety of your efforts to update this plan, and who is all involved, and the type of reach you have accomplished to get input and feedback?
Sure. So there are a couple of parts to that question, and I'll try to break them down and answer everything. So as far as who is involved with this process, it's truly everybody. This plan is a plan for the state of Wisconsin, not just any particular group or mode of transportation. So everybody, every member of the public, every business, stakeholders. So our outreach is generally targeted towards our transportation stakeholders, like these webinars, and things for the general public, such as our survey. As far as what kind of reach have we had and input and feedback, so we have received survey comments, survey responses from all 72 counties of the state. We've received over 1,500 survey responses and over 1,500 comments as well on our process. And we're really using, between the survey itself, the comment form, which allows you to type in any response that you would like, and our social media efforts. We've really been trying to get as much reach as possible with that. Another point, I guess, to mention is that public input is a critical part of this planning process, that this is one of the main efforts or main ways for the public and our stakeholders to influence the future of our transportation system going forward. So many of our projects are here and now. You know, there are orange barrels in front of my house. There's an interchange, something like that. This is really looking out forward and shaping the future of our system, and public involvement is a key component of that. So on our website, connect2050.wisconsindot.gov, we have our public involvement plan out there, which identifies our outreach activities that we will conduct, And so that document does really include a lot of good things that we will do. And just a note on that is with COVID-19, obviously our planning process has changed. We noted it on our website that some of the items in there, we have to, obviously we were, for instance, going to have in-person meetings, which we could not have this plan phase. So we are doing everything that we can as far as using technology and social media to our advantage, since we can't physically meet in person. But the public involvement plan does really include a lot of good information on that.
Thanks. Next question, how will Connect 2050 address transportation emissions and climate change?
Sure. So quality of life and natural environment is one of our goal areas, and we do have trends that we've been looking at as far as the environment as well. So the policies in the plan, we have to assess our current policy standing with topics like that. And I know from our previous plan that we do have some policy direction on that. So we just have to look and review what our current policies are and see if they're still appropriate or if they need updating.
This is Jen. I just want to add to that question as well. The department's looking at different types of resiliency efforts for things like flooding events and things that may be results of climate change or things that are happening to our environment. So that is certainly something we'll be discussing in the plan, and some of, as Alex said, the policies that we'll be looking at as we move forward.
Yeah, and I would also like to add on to that. In terms of the interagency level, we are working with and do monitor and coordinate with some of the other state agencies. We're aware of the Governor's Blue Ribbon Task Force on Climate Change and some of the recommendations that are going to be coming out of that in October. And we're talking with them just to be aware of kind of some of what those might be when they come down the pipeline and how they might impact our policies. So.
Great. When are the key times and dates that we can drive participation forward?
Sure. It's a great question. So now, no time like the present. Our survey is going to be open until October, through October 31st. Our comment form, there are links to all of these on our website, by the way. The comment form will be open throughout the duration of the planning update process and through next summer. As far as plan phasing is concerned, so this current phase is where we're really going out trying to receive input on the future of the transportation system from the public and our stakeholders. So over the winter, we will be reviewing our policies, our existing policies, doing our policy analysis, going through all of the comments that we've received, and writing the draft plan. Come springtime, we will release the draft plan for public comment and a second round of public involvement similar to what we're doing now. So just keep monitoring. You can sign up for email updates on our website as well, and we'll be providing updates as far as when the second round of public involvement will be happening as far as once we get the plan written. But that is the next major milestone for us in receiving feedback is the draft plan phase once we have the plan in hand and now. But again, feel free to share comments at any time, either by email or through our comment form.
Great. I think we'll move now, because I think that exhausts our questions from the YouTube, and we'll move to what we've received via email. First question, what does it look like that rural areas get a definite, particular, and equitable connection and results from this plan?
Sure. So like I said, this is a statewide plan, and our rural and urban areas are all critically important. And we are aware of the fact that there are different challenges in urban areas versus rural areas. So that's why commenting is so important as far as letting us know what those specific concerns for the rural areas are. And we're aware of some of them from our trends analysis, and we need to hear from our stakeholders, from our advocacy groups, and from the public as far as what those specific concerns are. Jen, do you have anything to add on that?
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, I would just say, this is a statewide long-range transportation plan. There are several factors that we are balancing as we look at the goals for the transportation system in the state. And because of that, we're partnering with folks like you here on the meeting to understand some of the needs from stakeholder groups, as well as our metropolitan planning organization and regional planning commissions throughout the state, who have planning oversight and recommendations for communities over 50,000 and above, primarily for our MPOs. So it is certainly that balance between the different needs of communities, and the rural areas of our state are primary to part of what we need to accomplish in this plan. And so we'll be outlining goals for roadways, goals for bicycle pedestrian accommodations, goals for transit, goals for rail, and assessing those things relative to the different factors that are important to our state. So we're hoping to hear some feedback from the public on some of the things that you might think are important in different areas, and we'll work with that, as well as looking at sort of long-term population increases and other factors that contribute to what we think the future might be like.
Thanks, Jen.
I'll
Next
just add
question.
on to that too. We are aware of, outside of the Connect 2050 process, we are aware of, and the department is supporting WEDC's new Office of Rural Sustainability, and again, that Governor Task Force and some of the things that are coming out of that. So we'll take some information that we learned from that process as well and consider that as we move forward.
Thanks, Chuck. I know there's a non-driver council now. How are we creating a better balance between evolving driver experience with non-driver results for getting to where we want to be?
Sure, that's a great question. So the Wisconsin Non-Driver Advisory Committee, it's called WinDAC, was created this spring, and really was the intent of it is to provide recommendations to us on how to facilitate mobility, safety, and access for our state's non-driving populations. So as that committee meets, and I know, like I said, they were just created this spring, so hopefully the policy recommendations, some of the recommendations that come out of that committee will, hopefully we'll have recommendations by the time that we start writing the plan, and can really incorporate that into our plan. Anything to add on that, Chuck or Jen?
Sure. I'll add a little bit about Wisconsin DOT's ADA program. We're developing policy and guidance to help ensure equal access to programs, activities, services, buildings, and public rights of way. So this is an effort to really be attentive to American with Disabilities Act, and we'll be making upgrades as part of scheduled construction or maintenance. And we also have upgrades throughout the system that are managed independently as standalone projects as well. And this includes working and partnering with other agencies also, like transit agencies across the state, to do the same.
Thanks. Now, for those that rely on transit, it might seem to the observer of the plan that there's a lot of an emphasis on things that are meaningful for just drivers. Is there going to be an effort to balance those two things, those that use transit and those who rely on cars and trucks for travel?
Absolutely. That's the point of one of the main components of this plan, is trying to figure out the balance moving forward for our system and meet the needs of all of our users. And as far as funding is obviously a major component of that, and we have funding allocations, and we do have a budget every year. But trying to find that balance of what we can do, what we would like to do, and then what we were actually able to do is critical. Anything to add, Chuck or Jen, as far as balancing roads and transit?
No, I just put emphasis that this is a multimodal plan, and the planning process doesn't stop when this plan is written in the summer. there are other modal plans that are the implementation tools, and we'll be working across multiple business areas in the department to make sure that as we update those plans, those other modal policies get updated as well.
And in the same vein, Chuck, maybe this is a question for you, Alex. Is there a place that individuals can see those other modal plans?
Absolutely. So on the bottom of the Connect 2050 webpage, the connect2050.wisconsindot.gov, at the very bottom, there's basically a resource library of all of the WisDOT planning efforts, and it has links to all of the existing modal plans, things such as our transportation asset management plans, our more operational plans, and it has links to our region's planning efforts as well. So yeah, from there you can link and go and read about any of the modal plans. And the website and the virtual open house does a good job of talking about how these plans all work together, how the role of each of these plans, and how Connect 2050 really sets the policy direction. And like Chuck just said, the modal plans and the operational plans are really the implementation element of the how we get there, how we implement the policies in Connect 2050.
Great, thank you. Do you have interest in, I think someone's finds your presentation very compelling here, Alex. They're asking if you have any interest in presenting to meetings where they could invite you.
Sure, absolutely. Feel free to send me an email. My email should be almost everywhere now, but it's alexander.gramovot@dot.wi.gov. Last name is spelled Gramovot. So yeah, I'm more than happy to.
Alex, can you talk a little bit about the stakeholder toolkit here? I think it's a good opportunity to note that we have some tools out there that folks can use in lieu of us presenting in person as well for their stakeholder groups.
Sure. Thanks, Chuck. So there is on the website, there's a stakeholder toolkit, and in the resources tab at the top of the page, it'll take you right down to it. And the intent of this toolkit was really to give you all as our stakeholders the ability to present to your boards, your constituents, your interested parties, present information and return feedback to us in a consistent manner so that we could receive feedback. It's physically impossible for us to go all over the state, go to every meeting that we would probably be invited to. And but yeah, so that toolkit information, there's draft email language, for instance, that you can send out emails to your listservs. There are social media posts that you could copy and paste into Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, anything like that, and spread information. There's links to the survey, paper comment forms, presentations. There are a couple of PowerPoint presentations and with talking points for you. So there's a lot of information out there. So thank you for the reminder, Chuck, but please look through that toolkit and see. And I'm still happy to do anything if you would like, but that was the point of the intent of that toolkit, is really to empower you all to be able to present this information and to the folks that you work with every day.
Well, thanks, Alex, Jen, and Chuck. I'm looking and I'm not seeing any other questions coming in through YouTube. And as I understand it, there are no more from email either. I think maybe we'll give it a couple of minutes just to ensure that we're not missing anything.
Sure. Yeah, with this pause, I guess I'd like to take the opportunity to advertise for our virtual open house. It's available. You can link to from our Connect 2050 webpage, but really a lot of good information in that virtual open house that puts into context the planning process, how the plans all work together, and what we're looking at and considering. It's supposed to be a virtual replication of an in-person public meeting, so it would follow your traditional in-person public meeting format. And there's a lot of good information in there. You can take it on your own time. It's all self-guided. So I would encourage you all to go look through our website, our virtual open house. We have a comment dashboard that's out there that's ArcGIS Online based, where you can go and read through all 1,500 and some odd comments that we've received around the state. You can read through that and see kind of which WisDOT region the comments are coming from, so you can see what people are prioritizing where, what people are saying in different parts of the state. And like I said, the toolkit and all of that is available for your use. So with that, if no other questions are coming in, I'd like to thank you all for participating in today's webinar. And like I said, we encourage you to visit our website, attend the virtual open house, take our survey, and share all of this information with your members and constituents. We've already talked about the toolkit, but it is out there and it's for your use. So can't encourage you enough to do that. And just to reiterate that there are paper survey forms and comment forms available in that for folks that might not have access to or want to use the technology web-based formats of the survey and comment form. And those can be mailed back to us if you would like. And I would just like to thank you all again for attending and participating in today's webinar and being a part of the Connect 2050 planning process.